My reign as a Jeopardy champion lasted almost 35 minutes.
This was coming, like the waiting room of the vasectomist, and I know that's not what he's called. I know there's like a fancy word, but...
If you leave, I have nothing left to live for.
Where are you? Oh, hey, all right, oh! A daredevil already. I like it.
Right. So, like a lot of good roommate stories, this one starts with me moving in with some strangers that I found on the internet. And it went great. It started great. I was really excited to move in with these people, mostly because I had just gotten out of college, had a lot of roommate misadventures, and these guys were like, it was a couple guys and a couple girls, and they were all, they all just struck me as really like stable, considerate, well-adjusted adults who had their shit together. Which to someone coming out of college was a real novelty. I had a lot of surprises that I didn't want, and that was all behind me. I was so excited about it. So it went great. Went great for about a month. And one Sunday I got up to go to church, which was something I was doing at the time, and and I cracked open my bedroom door to leave, and I stopped because I heard this squeaking sound. It was this very characteristic squeak of two people, enjoying each other's company, And right away, I knew two things about the sound. The first one was that it was coming from the living room, which was an issue for me because the living room was the center of the house. I had to walk through it on my way out the front door. The second thing I knew about the sound was that it was coming from two men who didn't sound like they liked each other very much. It was a lot of dirty talking that was very, angry, very aggressive. I didn't really know what to make of it, but right away I was like, you know what, I'm just going to wait this one out. So I shut the door, turned on the radio, tried to muffle the sound, and try to figure out my next move. And, the wheels start turning in my head, and I was like, wait a second, this is not really what I expected from these people. I've only known them for about a month, but so far everything's been great. Like, they've been considerate, there've been no red flags, nothing about anything that they've done has made me think that they'd be the kind of people who would fuck in the common area while other people are home. So, I didn't see this coming, no pun intended. So then I'm late, I want to go, but I don't want to walk through it. So I kind of fall into the cycle of every 5 or 6 minutes, I kind of crack the door open and, it's still going. Turn the radio back on, and I do that a couple times, and then maybe after, it might have been 15 or 20 minutes, I crack the door again, and the squeaking is still going at a steady clip. And this is 20 minutes, that's impressive. The grunting and the angry words are still continuing, and this time I hear a third sound. There's a woman giggling. And at this point, for me, it's gone from weird to really, really, really weird. Like fucking is one thing. This is an orgy. And I am not ready for this. I do not want this. This was my normal house where everyone was cool, and all of a sudden it's weird. So at that point, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna let it be weird. I'm gonna go downstairs and be like, you guys are pervs, and leave. I'm gonna go to church, I'm gonna go to the library and go look for a new set of strangers to live with. Roll the dice, maybe it'll be better next time. So I kind of work up my nerves, I go downstairs, I'm trying not to look. I don't really want to look, but I get to the bottom of the stairs and I have to. Suspense has been building for a while. And so I work up the courage and I look, and I'll never forget, you can't forget something like this. The guys are on the couch. They're stoned out of their minds, and they are very aggressively playing Mario Kart. They hate each other. One of them's like, get off my ass, and the other one's like, fuck you, bitch. And then in the corner, there's a girl there's a trampoline about this big. I've never seen anything like it. And she's doing some kind of jazzercise aerobics. She didn't work out clothes, she's jumping on the trampoline. There's a squeaking sound. And she's giggling because this shit's hilarious. It's like two grown men who love each other very much and like to express that love by getting high and playing video games. So, I can't, my 23-year-old brain cannot move that fast. In 15 minutes, I just did this 360 from normal house to voyeuristic bisexual orgy back to normal house, and I just can't keep up. And it's just too awkward for me, and I'm awkward, and this is awkward. And in that moment, when one of them looked at me and said, hey dude, what's up? without thinking, I just sort of blurted out like, I thought you guys were all fucking. And they look at me, and I can tell in that moment that the look on their face is exactly the same as the look on my face was upstairs 5 minutes ago. You know, they're like, we thought this guy was cool. We didn't see any red flags, but he's a total fucking pervert. And the worst thing is there's no coming back from that. You know, they had this cool end scene where I thought they were all fucking, but actually they're just hanging out. But for me, like, I just fucked it up and there's no coming back from it. That's it. And so I just sort of like, I did the only thing I know how to do. I just sort of awkwardly like walked backwards out of the room. And I was like, going to church, see you later. And I lived there for about a year. Everything was great. I have nothing but good things to say about those guys. But in the year that I lived there, I don't think I ever lived down the reputation of being the creepy, poorly adjusted pervert who lived upstairs. Thanks.
Give it up for Chris, guys.